What if you could see the emotional scars people carry? Not the physical ones, but the invisible fractures on their soul, made visible. This is the story of Alex, a simple stick figure in a world of stick figures, who felt more like a ghost than a person, drifting through crowds completely unseen. Then, one morning, it happened. He woke up and the world was cracked. The barista who served him coffee had a deep fissure running down her arm. The bus driver had a web of fractures across his chest, right over his heart. Strangers on the street were mosaics of past pains, held together by sheer will. At first, Alex was terrified. He felt like he was seeing something he wasn't supposed to see, a private language of sorrow. Soon, fear turned to a strange kind of power. He started using this sight to navigate his life. He'd avoid people with too many cracks, labeling them as broken or too much work. He'd see a confident manager at his job and smirk, knowing they had a shattered leg, a hidden insecurity. He used their pain as a shield for his own loneliness, building his walls higher by judging the cracks in theirs. He had never felt more powerful, and he had never been more alone. One rainy afternoon, he caught his reflection in a shop window, and for the first time, he saw himself. He was covered in them. Not deep, dark chasms, but thousands of tiny hairline fractures, so faint he'd never felt them. He was broken too. Just then, his elderly neighbor, Mrs. Gable, walked by. She was always smiling, always tending to her flowers. But through Alex's eyes, she was a masterpiece of repair, covered in deep, dark lines. He finally spoke. "Doesn't it hurt?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. She looked down at her own hands, which Alex saw were webbed with cracks, and she smiled a gentle, knowing smile. "Oh, these old things, they're not scars, dear. They're stories. They're proof that I've lived and loved and healed. You don't get these from a life lived in a glass box." That was the moment everything changed. Alex realized the cracks weren't signs of weakness. They were marks of resilience. They weren't things to be avoided. They were chapters to be understood. He started to see the beauty in the mended pieces, the strength it took for someone to put themselves back together, day after day. He began to connect. He offered to help the barista with a heavy box, giving her arm a rest. He stayed late to listen to his manager talk about a childhood accident that had shattered his confidence long ago. With every act of empathy, with every genuine connection, he felt one of his own tiny fractures fill with a soft, warm light. He was no longer just seeing pain, he was helping to heal it, in others and in himself. Looking out at the world now, Alex didn't see a crowd of broken people. He saw a gallery of beautiful survivors. The cracks weren't ugly scars anymore. They were intricate golden lines, like the Japanese art of Kintsugi, where broken pottery is made even more beautiful by repairing it with gold. He finally understood that we aren't beautiful despite our broken pieces, but because of them. So it leaves you with one question. If you could see the cracks in others, would you walk away, or would you help them find the gold?